Good morning. Welcome to my channel. Actually, it's afternoon. Where I'm at in the USA, it's 20 minutes after 12. Welcome to my channel. I am Sunshiny Day, and this is Tarot by Sunshiny Day. Okay, so I finally had the time to break out my new Lenormand card, the Golden Venetian Lenormand by Eugene Vinitski, and I wanted to share it with you. I also did a reading for myself pertaining to my job situation, which is very interesting, so I hope you stick around. Okay, so let's get started. The Golden Venetian Lenormand was produced and created by Eugene Vinitski and Elsa Kapanukovsky. Now, I sounded that out phonetically, so I think I did pretty good. Kapanukovsky. Elsa and Eugene are the creators, and it was produced by Eugene. His company is known as Tarot Mania. That's where he makes all of his cards. All of his products come out of his company known as Tarot Mania. I came across Mr. Vinitski on Facebook, and I have been looking at his works, and I finally decided to buy this particular one. The deck comes with a signed card of authenticity, and it has information about the card and the certificate of authenticity. I thought that was pretty cool. The backs of the cards are just checkerboard, and but the overall deck is beautiful. Wait till you see it. The box is just a gold box. It is a very sturdy box. And as with so many of these products, I did notice that there's a typo in the box. In the box, the deck is referred to as the Gold Venetian Lenormand, but as you can see everywhere else, it is titled the Golden Venetian Lenormand. So I'm going to go with the Golden. But anyways, on here it says the Golden Venetian Lenormand is based on the game of hope, the system of predictions created at the end of the 18th century. The Golden Venetian, yes, it has a typo twice. Golden Venetian Lenormand deck does not only consist of the history of the Venetian Carnival and Venetian masks. It also lifts the veil to the game of human characters, deeds, and thoughts. So yeah, it's a takeoff of the Venetian Carnival, which I guess is a period in time when there was a lot of masquerading and wearing of masks and whatnot, and the jesters or the jokers were big at that time and everything. So that's what his Golden Venetian Lenormand is based on. That's how Eugene Vinitski designed it. So that's that part of it. Okay, and it is based on, as I said, the Game of Hope, which was created at the end of the 18th century. Now, I didn't know anything about the Game of Hope. I did know about Madame Lenormand and how the deck was created after she died, and I guess it was created after the Game of Hope went out of style, if you will, or was no longer the allure of the deck. So someone recreated it under her name, which I thought was pretty interesting, because the whole history of cards, of playing cards, of tarot cards, of Lenormand cards, of all of the metaphysical cards, they all have a really interesting history of how they came about and how they morphed over years and changed, and how some publications say it one way, another way, and as history goes, we don't know all of the truths, and the truth is probably found halfway in the middle somewhere. So there you go with that. Okay, so this is the guidebook, and the book was created by Elsa, his partner. I don't know if she's his partner at all times in Tarot Mania or in just in this particular publication, but The book is written beautifully. She's a really good writer, and she writes the introduction and how they came about the Golden Tarot. I mean, the Golden Venetian Lenormand. They also have the Golden Tarot as well, the Golden Venetian Tarot. And then she just goes through all the cards and, you know, writes down their depiction of the cards and whatnot. And this particular deck has 56 cards in it, including the 2 jokers. And from what I know, the average or the normal Lenormand only has 36. So you can take out the additional cards and just have the traditional Lenormand deck. She does have 2 spreads in here. One is very lengthy. It's known as the Gypsy Fan spread. And then the one that I am using is the Joker spread. So I have already laid out the cards because I wanted to make sure that I read how to read this spread, and I wanted to make sure I got the meaning of the cards correct, because it's really awkward when you're trying to make a video and learn about something at the same time. It just doesn't go well for me anyways. But before I do the actual reading and show you what I got on it, I'm going to do a quick flip through of the rest of the cards. So let me kind of move this over here, and then I'll tell you how the spread works. And the card stock is very sturdy. It's, you know, better than average card stock, and the artwork is just beautiful. Now, if you're really familiar with Lenormand, you'll probably recognize a lot of the depictions. To me, the Lenormand is a combination of all kinds of metaphysical readings, or alchemist readings, if you will. You can read it as a cartomancy or as a tarot, and then you can read it as straight up Lenormand, and you can use numerology in it. There's all different ways to read Lenormand. I try to stick to how the guide tells me to read it. I have never read with any of my Lenormand decks at a live show. I stick with my well-known tarot Rider-Waite deck because I have not mastered the Lenormand. In person, I don't know anybody who knows the Lenormand like most people know the tarot or their oracle cards. However, online there are several experts on the Lenormand. Like when I go out to an event, I don't think I've ever seen anyone strictly use the Lenormand deck for all of their readings. But as you can see, the artwork is beautiful, and it is based on the Venetian era in Italy. And there are 2 jokers. The other joker is in my reading, and I'll show you how that works. Okay, that's a flip through. That's the 10-cent flip through. Now I want to show you the cards that I got and how you're supposed to read the cards. The first card I got is a child. Then I got the Joker, which I got the Columbine Joker, which is the girl Joker, and it represents, I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget, it represents a time when, or if the situation presented, if she doesn't make a choice, the choice is going to be made for her on the outcome of the situation. And that is very interesting because of the situation that I asked about. Like I said, I asked about my job. So what you do is you have the seeker shuffle the Lenormand deck, and they pick out 4 cards. And they also choose from the 2 jokers, the Columbine or the Harlequin. I chose the Columbine. You can choose either one. So they take the 4 cards from the deck and they're choosing of the joker. Then they shuffle the 5 cards together. And then you lay them out as such. Now, from the way I understand it, any of the cards that are before the joker are the past. And any of the cards after the joker are the current situation or the future. Now, if you're reading it and you feel like you want to replace the joker in order to improve the reading, you can take it and get another card and replace the joker with that card. And if it improves the reading, if you like, you can read it that way for the seeker. I chose a card. I chose to just, just to see how it would go. I chose a different card and replaced the joker. However, the reading came out pretty much the same. So, I'll show you what that means when I finished, as we go along. Okay, so the child, it's showing that in the past, and I do it now. I'm very childlike. I like to joke around and have fun and game this and do that. And, I'm the life of the party as far as comedy. So I could probably have been a really good gesture back in the day. Anyways, but I also can be risky in my decision making. And because this is about my job situation, in the past I did take a risk and I quit a job before I had a new one. But because I know what I know, I knew I would get the job that I had applied for. I applied for the job because the job I had was so unbearable and it was affecting my health. So I had to get out of there. And after I applied for this job, I just knew in my heart that I was going to get it. And so I figured it out and I took and quit this job. I gave them a week notice, but I knew I'm not going to go back there. Even if I do, I am eligible for rehire anyways. Not to get off topic, but so I took like 4 weeks off after leaving this job, which was the risk because I wasn't secured in this job, but then I was. They gave me the job, okay? So this current job, there's a lot of BS going on, if you will. I work for local government, and normally local government is supposed to be highly transparent. Everything is done out in the open. They have laws saying that the local board of county commissioners are not allowed to discuss topics that will be on their agenda, or they're just not supposed to discuss things that are going on in the county unless it's in the open with the entire commission. But that doesn't happen here. That does not happen here. As a matter of fact, 2 of the commissioners were arrested, and they're both contesting the arrest. They're different reasons for being arrested, but still, they're both still on the board. Now, if a county employee got arrested for either thing that these 2 got arrested for, we would automatically be fired. No ifs, and, or buts. We would not be with the county anymore. But for some reason, the commissioners are allowed to get arrested and nothing happens. It's just bizarre. And then one of the commissioners during COVID, she decided that she was going to represent her voters and go ahead and obtain COVID vaccine and bring it to her zone or section or whatever you want to say of voters. And so her voters, which she lives on the wealthy side of town. Her vote is benefited by getting the vaccine before anyone else in the county. Now she's under investigation for that, which is just really bizarre. I think that's actually a federal investigation because she took the monies in the vaccine from federal and allowed her constituents to benefit from it. And she's still on the board. She wasn't fired. So that's what's going on with the situation. And another thing is the county deputy administrator came from another board, and he's just doing bizarre things. One example is he's messing around with our raise. At first he said he was going to give us a raise, or it might be a bonus, or he made promises, but then they never came through. And so we're waiting and waiting to see what happened with our raises. Finally, we were told what they're going to do with our raises, and I can't even get into that because it's just bizarre what they're doing with the budget for the raises. That even might be a crime in and of itself, what they're doing to the employees. So many of them are leaving. And okay, so that gets me to this card, which I'm at a crossroads in my job. I need to decide, make the difficult decision to stay. I need to choose the lesser of two evils. And if I pick the wrong one, it could cause a lot of tension in my life, and I might feel like withdrawing. I might go through a depression. So this is going to require a lot of deep focus on my part. So I'm at a crossroads. That's what this card is, number 22. The number 11 card is the whip. And this is showing me that there's going to be new management, which it is. The board and all the management in my job is all fairly new, and they're making eliminations. They could be reducing staff or dismissing staff. They're playing games, and it says that I need to be ready and whip myself into shape in order to be able to handle the situation, which, wow, this is really, really, really a deep reading for me to share. Okay, so the fourth or fifth card, if you will, including the Joker, is the number 8, and it's the coffin. And it says that there's a new stage in my life. I might be leaving a place that's causing me misery. The transition to the new, I need to prepare for this new transition. And then it says I may feel like just being closed off and closed out to the world. And just staying to myself and fly under the radar. But not right now. It's not a time to do that, because I need to be awake and I need to prepare in case something happens. So, like I said, I did get the extra card in place of the Joker to see if it would improve the situation with the reading. And actually, it made it worse or just the same, because according to the guidebook, the mirror, the number 44, shows deception, shows the unknown. Things aren't always what they seem, I should say. Deception. It's unlikely to have the knowledge that you need or that you think you have might not be there. It might not be, it's an illusion. So that didn't really improve the reading at all. So that's my reading. It's the 4-card reading plus the Joker, which depicts the difference between the future and the past, and then the replacement card. So, it's just telling me that my job, which I already knew, is in a dire situation, and I need to be alive, be awake, be aware. Okay, so that's the reading with the Golden Venetian Lenormand. Now, as always, I always end my reading with an angel card. So normally I use the angel answers by Doreen Virtue because it's on my desk and it's easy for me to get to. And so this time I picked the card number 21, and it says, listen to your intuition. Now, in this situation, I already am. And I don't think that I'm going to be dismissed or laid off, as the cards show. It might be other people. A lot of people are leaving, so the being laid off might have fixed itself. But I mean, outright dismissal, my intuition is telling me that's going to be the upper management. But in the guidebook, the Doreen Virtue guidebook, it says, use your intuition. Your intuition is completely reliable and accurate at this time. Listen to your own inner guidance, and you can't go wrong. You can be certain that the messages you're receiving from your angels are real and trustworthy. Have faith in your feelings about the circumstances you're experiencing. Your insights into other people and their true feelings or motives are perfectly accurate. There's no need to question what you know is true. And I mean, that's, that's actually really true, because I'm sitting at my desk and I know, just listening to things, I kind of know what's going to happen. And there's a lot of whispers in the hallways and whatnot, but nobody says anything out loud because, you can just get fired. That's how the situation is going with my job. But I wanted to pull another card because I just wasn't satisfied. And I know especially when we read for ourselves, we really shouldn't do this, but I needed something else, man. So I got another Oracle deck out. It's also by Doreen Virtue. It's the Ascended Masters Oracle card guidebook. And this one only has Doreen Virtue. It doesn't have Radley Valentine. So I don't even know if they're still publishing this deck. Anyhow, the card I pulled was, I picked card number 21, and it says, take charge of the situation. So, I mean, intuitively, I probably already am, but I'll read what it says. It says, you have the power to heal and alter the course of this situation. It's time for you to take charge and assume leadership position. For myself, don't let other people decide, as the Joker says. First, decide what you want. Be clear about the conditions that are acceptable or unacceptable to you. The universe responds when you are clear about your aims and intentions. The Ascended Masters will support your desires and your leadership. It says, talk openly and honestly. Make a decision. Don't passively wait, like the Joker says. If you don't get your head out of your butt, so to speak, the decision will be made for you. Give yourself permission to feel and don't wait. Take action now and be your own authority figure. That really didn't give me what I wanted, but I guess it did. Because I need to make the decision before someone else makes the decision for me. Which, we all have to do in life. You know what I mean? But sometimes it's scary. And at this point in my career, it is really scary because I only have 10 more years or less. I was trying to make it less, but the way things are going, this situation, the powers to be are making it very difficult for anybody who's working under them. And I've never had to work. These last 4 or 5 years have just been really difficult in my career to work with management. They put people in a situation where they don't want to make decisions, and they don't want to talk, and they don't want to speak out because they're afraid they'll lose their job, which is how they pay their bills, So, and I think this board knows that, and this management knows that, which makes it even worse when you think about it. Okay, so I did this reading with the Golden Venetian Lenormand by Eugene Vinitski and Elsa, let me get it right, Elsa Kapanugovsky. What a beautiful name that is, right? I guess like early in America, people came over with these long names and they were made to shorten their names because they were too hard to pronounce. Can you believe that? But her name is Elsa Kapanugovsky, which who would want to shorten that? It's so beautiful. And she's beautiful too. Let me show you both of their pictures. Where's the guidebook? Here it is. I have the picture in the back here. There is Elsa, and that is Eugene. And I don't know if they worked together on all of their projects or if this was just one that he brought her in on. And you can find both of them on Facebook. That's how I came about Eugene, and then I found out about Elsa after I got this deck. It does come all the way from Europe, so it takes a little while to get here. It got here quicker than I thought it would. But that's it, the Golden Venetian Lenormand, and I hope you enjoyed this reading. I actually enjoyed it. I just, since it's about myself, it's kind of, it's a bizarre situation, and I wasn't sure if I at first should share it when all the cards came up, because it's rather personal, but hey, that's a good way to introduce the cards, see how accurate they are. So I hope you all liked it, and please subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace out.